Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty, and today our special guest is Diane Sterling of Orlando Keller Williams Advantage Realty. Now, Diane carries a long list of commendations, including 5-star customer satisfaction award, multiple #1 rankings for sales volume, and she was even featured on Top Agent magazine in Florida. So Diane, welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, Keith, and thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your show today.
Absolutely. We're really excited to have you here. So let's kind of dive in and get to kind of know a little bit more about you. So if we could start with what led you into real estate? I mean, was it something that you always knew that you wanted to do?
Well, no, funny question. I actually ended up getting into it. I would say it's, more or less a third or fourth career. It was always an area of interest for me, and I always followed real estate sales and, what was going on in the industry, the ups and downs and so forth. But previously been in a couple of different industries first. And after being in those other industries for a while, just sort of decided it was time to do something different, have my own business, and real estate was the perfect venue for that.
Excellent. And in your time as you've built your business, what personal attributes or traits or qualities do you think have most contributed to your success, and how did you develop those?
Well, it kind of ties in, I guess, to the previous question. The ability to research and analyze data, which I did quite a bit of for 10 years previous. I've been in the defense industry and worked on researching a lot of information. And after that, I was in telecommunications as well for many years. And, again, being able to research data, analyze it, and provide good communications to my folks, my clients on that end, both in writing and orally. Those are skills that I think have helped me quite a bit once I got into the real estate. And I think just learning how to work with people, work toward common goals, and just basically putting their needs first. So, and of course, once I got into real estate, my goal really has been and will continue to be my client's realtor for life and be the one they think of when their kids need a place, the kids that are little when I sell them the house, when they grow up and get out of college, to be the one they refer to for helping their family and their friends find real estate as well.
Excellent. And what would you, everybody, in success has probably had some failures along the way. We've, fallen down and had to get back up. So what were some major adversities, maybe some trials that you had to overcome to achieve your goals? And what kept you going despite these obstacles? Why didn't you give up?
Well, I think I've always been one to work really hard, and if someone told me I couldn't do something, that's just the incentive I needed to say, okay, I'm going to prove them wrong, I'm going to do it. So I think the ability to persevere, is just something either you have or you don't have, perhaps. And, early on in life, there were some challenges from, my background that probably helped me know that I had to work a little bit harder to achieve things in life and to move ahead. And so that's just something that's always stuck with me. And I think basically trying to figure out what people need and what they want and working past whatever the adversities are that come up. Back in 2006 and 2007 when the market turned down, those were actually some of my best years. A lot of people were dropping out of the business and, having a difficult time. Yet I knew there's still people that need to sell and need to buy. No point in taking a bleak outlook. There's going to be business. It's just a matter of, being the one who's there and ready to handle it.
All right. Excellent. And so, given your success and what you've done with your real estate business, what do you see as your vision for your real estate business over the next 5 years?
Well, my vision is really just to continue doing business the same way, working with my customers to try to make sure that I not only meet their goals but exceed them and, be the person that they think of when they think of someone to refer their neighbor or their family member or their friends to. putting their needs ahead of mine, and that's something that's always been important to me. Just looking ahead and, and the thinking, well, is this really the best option for them? Maybe it's not to sell right now. Maybe if it was during a time when I expected the industry to start turning around, I advise people, maybe now's not the best time to sell. If you can wait it out another 6 months or a year, I think the market's going to turn. You're going to be better off. And same thing on the other end if I have a client who's looking to buy and just doesn't really look like the best investment in my eyes. I'll point out those reasons why I think they might want to look at other options. I've had people under contract on properties that I might have helped them for, on and off for, a year or two even to find, and yet if the inspection turned up some bad results, and they weren't something we could work out with the seller, I have gone ahead and advised them, I think you're better off to go ahead and leave this and walk away from it, and we'll look for something else. So just more important to me to really put their needs first, because in the end, I think you're always going to be paid back as a person if you do that. You're going to earn their trust, which is what I've worked hard to do over these years, and they're going to know they can trust you, and their friends can trust you with their business.
Yeah, I think you brought up some very valid points there. Throughout my career and other people that we've talked to on this show, we've definitely seen that a lot of the successful business owners like yourself, when people tend to put other people first, especially their needs, like you said, you've talked people out of situations when clearly you could have made a commission or you could have made income, but you put their interest and their needs first, and that really shows a lot about you as a person as well as an agent, that you're not just there to focus on a commission or the next person to bring revenue in, but you really care about your people, and that you work with their best interest in mind.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah, that's really the way I've always done business, because I see, it goes back to the old golden rule, treat people as you'd like to be treated. And, if they don't have the knowledge or the foresight to see something that I do see is not in their best interest, I'd rather advise them right away on that, and and then be the one they come back to when they're ready, 6 months down the line or a year or whatever, to take up the look again, whether it's selling or whether it's buying. So yes, I think that's some good old-fashioned ethics that you don't always find so much nowadays anymore.
No, definitely, and it seems like in the real estate industry, it seems like the access to entry is kind of easy. I mean, I'm not saying it's everybody, but it seems like people just assume, I think at times, that I'm just going to go be an agent, but they don't really realize that there's a lot involved, and especially setting yourself up for success and doing the right things by people. So that's definitely great that's how you run your business. What do you what do you feel is the best way as a real estate professional that you continue to market yourself for continual growth? I mean, what is it now? Obviously, you say you serve people, so that probably helps with referrals and things like that, because people are just thrilled with your service. But what other ways do you to continue to market yourself so you can continually grow your business?
Well, I think staying in touch with what's called our SOI, or sphere of influence, it's always very important in this business. So in addition to, using that to generate those referrals that you just mentioned, that's just a great way to, keep top of mind, and then also be able to service clients in the meantime, if they're not looking to buy or sell, which obviously is quite a bit of the time. Everyone can't do that on a continual basis. Just being there and being a resource for them. So if they need someone to put a roof on, they need someone to, a good plumber to fix a leak, a good electrician, whatever it is, just trying to be able to offer information and be of service, and that way stay top of mind. Another thing that I try to be pretty consistent at is doing some farming in some of the areas that I specialize in. It's an older technique, but it still works very well. People pay attention to those kinds of things that come in the mail, postcards on what the home values are like, or postcards on what is just recently sold. They'll go straight to the trash can unless they're thinking about selling, in which case they hang on to them. So, and even when they're not looking at selling, I think everyone likes to know what the values are like in their neighborhood. So, so that's another way, just kind of staying in touch with people. Also, another thing that's become very popular these days is sending out e-newsletters, and that way you can kind of keep people abreast of what's going on in real estate in general, or what's the latest trend in colors for spring, or what sorts of things are doing well in people's yards. just things that you might say to your neighbor even, or have a conversation with someone in your office about. So things that might be of interest to your folks, whether they're thinking of selling or not. It's just another way to keep in touch.
Absolutely great. And what would you say is maybe one of the biggest misconceptions or myths that people have about working with real estate agents?
Well, that's a good question, and we do run into this sometimes with folks when, maybe they haven't always had the best experience with an agent, and they might have had someone in the past that took advantage of them. They sometimes have these blinders on that might think, well, you're all alike, and you are going to do the same thing, and they sort of boil it down to a few nuts and bolts of the business. And of course, it's not the case. There's real estate agents are different. The differences between one person versus another are just quite as vast as the differences between one CPA and one attorney and one doctor and another. We run the gamut from great to those who are necessarily not that great. So. There's a lot of differences, and it's just sometimes trying to point those things out to people when they might just want to boil it all down to something simple, but there's some tremendous differences between people.
Excellent. And let's give you kind of a hypothetical here just to see what you think about this. Let's say you get a call from a family member in another state, and they say, hey, Diane, this is your niece or whoever, and we're interested in selling our home. What advice would you give them about how to go about selecting an agent that you would best serve their needs? What kind of things would you tell them to look for?
Well, I would try to tell them to look for someone who's not only experienced in the business, but who's a local, they're very local to their area, someone with certain credentials. And in fact, what I typically do first is just say, well, if you're open to having me assist you with this, I've got a great network of real estate professionals who hold similar credentials to what I have, and I can refer them all across the U.S. actually, anywhere in the country, whether they're selling in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or Alexandria, Virginia, or Honolulu, Hawaii. It could be anywhere. And so, but I try to look for people that I think are going to best serve their needs, who have both got some experience as well as the ability to use some of the modern technology to assist them with their sale, because there's all sorts of avenues we have these days to do that. So I think it's very important to keep all those things in mind, and maybe they have a couple of people to talk to. Often people use the rule of three. I don't know that that's necessarily that critical if you already have people that you've narrowed down because of their specific specialties and their expertise in an area, but I always like to give people choices if that's what they like.
Excellent. Very good. And so let's say somebody wants to they need a real estate agent, and obviously you cover the Orlando area. If they want to find out more about Diane Sterling, how can they go about that, and how could they get your help?
Well, they can reach out to me via text or phone call at my cell phone. It's very simple. It's 407-761-0512. They can also email me. It's just my name at my first and last name, which is Diane, D-I-A-N-E, at DianeSterling.com, and Sterling is spelled with an E, just like sterling silver. Or they can find me on my website, which is DianeSterling.com. And I'm also hooked into social media such as LinkedIn, and I do have a Facebook business page, and as well as a YouTube channel where I put all my listings. So look forward to hearing from anyone with any questions, or if I could be of service to anyone.
Excellent, Diane. I just want to say that I appreciate you taking time. I know you're busy, and it's great that you were able to come here and share the different things that help build your business and how you really serve your customers. I'm really honored that you were able to take the time and share that with everybody today. And remember, everybody that's listening, you can reach out to Diane at numerous places. Just to kind of recap, she gave her cell or phone, as well as you can go to DianeSterling.com, which is her main site, or search her on social media. So with that said, everybody, thank you again for joining this episode of our show. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys all soon.
Thank you so much, Keith. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.